Michelle Rumschlag, Naturalist, and welcome to Virtual Experiences with the Hancock Park District. It's Friday, so we're hitting the trails. Today you're joining me at Liberty Landing. It's one of our river access sites that we have throughout the park system. It's about 2 acres off of Township Road 89. So it's a great spot if you want to wave a porta-john to use the restroom. There's a picnic table here, a lot of leaves and foliage, so it's a great spot to just kind of take a pit stop at. So wanted to recognize that we had a project funded in cooperation with the Division of Watercraft, Waterway Safety Fund, and the Ohio Department of Natural Resources to help put in our river access steps and areas here. So if you want to access the river here, you can do that with canoes or kayaks. We also have some area over here that once you're done, that you can turn your watercraft over and dry out. But you can just pull around the small drive that we had and then access the water via the steps down here. So let's go take a look at the river. Now, of course, water levels have been really low this year. We haven't had a lot of rain, and it's usually lower on this western part of the Hancock County. So I would look at the river before going in, especially in this area, because you don't want to have to get out and port your canoe or your kayak many times. I actually drove down the river a little past this yesterday, and I almost couldn't see it just because of all the plants and things in the water and some of the logs. So definitely check out your water areas before putting a boat into the water there. So as we come down here, we've got some plants that are growing along the bank here. And last week I talked about some of our native fall wildflowers that we had, goldenrod and New England aster. And goldenrod kind of gives that bad rap because people think they're getting the hay fever and the pollen from them. And I told you that wasn't true, and it came from ragweed. Well, that's what's growing here at Liberty Landings along the side. So ragweed is actually in the aster family, same with those other 2 flowers. And there's about 50 different kinds of species that grow. This one I believe is called giant ragweed. So these are about 3-4 feet tall. I've seen it get taller than me, and I'm a little bit over 5 feet. And if we look at the leaves, it has different shaped leaves within the same plant. So this one here has like 2 areas where it's lobed. And then moving over to this other leaf, it's got like a mitten shape to it, and then a single one there. And as you can see, there's a lot of insect damage going on. There's some species of moths that only feed on ragweed. So that would be its purpose in nature. And these moths are very small and kind of indiscriminate. Might be the ones that live along your yard that aren't really showy like some moths can be. So they're the ones that are laying their eggs, and then their caterpillars are eating here. And you can kind of see through most of these plants that they've been heavily eaten by those caterpillars. So what's happening is in August, late August, as the nights are getting longer, that's when the flowers start to bloom and all that pollen is released. And so one plant can contain over 1 billion pollen spores. So we've got a nice array of ragweed in this area. So there's a lot of pollen that's happening in just this part. So again, that's just kind of what happens with the ragweed and how it disperses its pollen. Some use insects, the ragweed just happens to use the wind. So I invite you to get on out to the parks. It's going to be great this weekend, starting to turn into fall. The leaves are changing colors. It's a great time to be outside. Remember to join us on Monday at 1 o'clock for our Discovery Stories. Thanks for joining me, and have a great day.